Hey guys, Celinda here from Mama Tried. So I had talked to you in my last video of when we washed blankets for a house guest. We just got back from our trip going across the country. We went by train. We went to from DC to Chicago, then from Chicago through to Grand Junction. Then we rented a car and we did Arches, we did Moab, we did, what else? Moab. Then from Grand Junction, we got back on the train and we were headed towards Jackson Hole, Yellowstone, Grand Tetons, and then from there to Las Vegas, to Hoover Dam, to Grand Canyon, back to Vegas and fly home. So we literally did trains, planes, and automobiles. But I wanted to let you know how the trip went. I wanted to take you along with some pictures, but I also wanted to share with you some things that I learned so that if you get the opportunity to travel, you would have that information, what worked, what didn't work. But we took a red eye home last night and wow, just wow. I was hanging on by a thread. I have a flair for dramatics, but you take sleep out of the scenario and I will cancel Christmas. So I came home, I got in my pajamas. My husband's parents were so lovely to pick us up and I went straight to bed. So before I start unpacking to go with you with what I learned, I have to make my bed again. And that is something I do every day. My husband and myself, without fail, we make our bed. And it seems cliche and it seems silly, but making your bed, however you make it, if you throw blankets over the pillows and it's just straight, that's a made bed. That's a made bed. Or if you tuck everything in crisp, roll it down, pillows, 19 layers of pillows. It's all a made bed. It's all a made bed. But making your bed makes all the difference in the world. So before I unpack, I'm gonna real quick make the bed. And the camera's on, so you get to see it. Done. Let's get to unpacking. For the two bags, I packed this one and this one. So this is what I packed. I just shared a quick video of the whole stash, my husband and I will tell you, it was too much. I made mistakes, but we're gonna unpack it, take a look, and then review how it could have gone better, because it can always go better. Visor, some sort of hat to keep the sun out of your eyes, because what I did find with all of our sightseeing was with sunglasses on, that was lovely, but I couldn't see through my camera lens. Sometimes I felt like I couldn't see distance really well. So I actually love the vitamin. I should just go back to bed. I loved the visor. Baseball cap would have been fine, but definitely something for shading your eyes. Two water bottles, one for each of us. Big win, but they have to be empty. We did make one mistake when we got off the plane in Vegas. We got in early in the morning. We decided to go straight to Hoover Dam and Grand Canyon. And because you can't have liquids in your bottles on the airlines, we hit the road and had nothing in here. And let me tell you what, my husband has MS. And so when he gets hot, bad things happen. Not I get sweaty in a bad mood. That's what happens with me. And that's pretty bad. But not good things happen with him. And let me tell you, when we got done at Hoover Dam, there was a vending machine for water bottles. I got an 8-ounce water bottle, $5. $5. I would have paid $25 though. I needed him cooled off. So tip of the day, as we're unpacking, don't head towards desert areas without a full water bottle. You can't fix stupid. Cords, that was a good idea. I also had brought my laptop thinking I would work on a video on the trip. I never opened it. And honestly, should we? I never opened it. No, mostly what I was concerned about was it burning in the heat. First aid kit, win. Speaker to listen to music, fake news. We never turned it on. It just added weight to my pack. My toiletries. Obviously, we should all stay clean. And I did, and I feel this is valid, and I'm gonna tell it to you, and I'm just gonna confess it. These are my hot rollers. I live by them. I would leave clothes, laptop before I would leave these. I have lived by Dolly Parton's quote for as long as I can remember. The higher the hair, the closer to Jesus. And I'm living it, okay? I love big hair. Curlers were worth it, but that's definitely opinion based. My Kindle, this has no, oh dang. Me, the whole trip died on the leg home. I actually did use this. We ran into some train delays, and when we got done in Vegas, we had a red eye, but we had to be out of our hotel. So in the afternoon, and then there was nothing else. I'm not saying there's not anything to do in Vegas. Don't hear that. Don't hear that. Nay, nay. But I am saying we had a lot of downtime because at that point I was like, we're just spending money. I don't need to do anything else. I'll bring this, and I used the Wi-Fi, and I watched some, you know, I have Amazon Prime. So I used that. I did utilize that at the airport. GPS, I loved. The GPS we took with us. I know most of you or some of you may not even know what this is because we all live by our phones, but this I don't have to worry about cell reception, and we were able to navigate our way because, again, we did travel quite a bit by rented car, and we had no idea where we were. And then bear repellent. And I saw a bear. I saw several bears. I saw a brown bear in her cubs. I saw a black bear. I'd love to give you a picture of the brown bear, but one, it was kind of far away, and two, I was shaking so much with the excitement and also not wanting to upset the mama bear that I don't have a picture, but you'll have to take my word for it. I saw it. Fanny pack to carry cash concealed. Rain jacket, bug, and these cooling towels. These were a game changer. Now our situation is rather specific in that my husband really can't get hot. He really shouldn't. It can really do unfortunate things to him. So I had several of these cooling towels, and you can wet them and keep them on your backpack or in your purse, and they have this weatherproof pouch. And when he gets hot, these cooled him down significantly. So if you have an issue like that, win. I would consider these. Nuts, because you don't want to see me hungry. Another cooling towel. Oh, and then these cute little baby soaps at the hotel we stayed in Yellowstone. Honestly, are they not the cutest little thing you ever seen? I'm gonna give them to my grandsons. Oh, they're so precious. All right. That's the whole backpack. I'm not really sad except for the laptop about anything that I brought there. But I think we all think on vacation, what are we gonna do with our time? And the thing is, much like with life with kids, there's always something to do. I wouldn't bring the laptops. Or maybe you would. All right. We brought playing cards. Never used them. Never. Tea towels. Oh, there they are, postcards. And I brought a book, and it was excellent. It was a good read. If you're looking for a good, feel-good read, I will always write back. It was an excellent true story book. I always love feel-goods at the end, and this is a lovely story of friendship that spans the test of time. I would recommend it. I finished it in a day, though. A day on the train. All right. Now on to the things where I really feel like I made a mistake. Yes, I only brought one bag, but it was honestly too much. Moving in and out of those trains, the planes weren't so bad, and the cars. Lugging, you are in tight quarters in those trains, and I just think it would have gone so much better if I had had less. Tennis shoes, win. I don't even know what to say. I packed wedge heels. I don't know. Never used them. Took up so much space. Never used them. I thought we would dress up, go somewhere nifty in Vegas, but honestly, by the time we got there, it was the last leg of our trip. We were exhausted, and we did not go out. Grandson. These shoes were another win. Flat. So the tennis shoes, these, I did bring 3 pair. I actually used them all. The sandals, these had traction, but were a little lighter than the tennis shoes, but I honestly could have gotten away with just the sandals and the tennis shoes, truthfully. Gifts for my daughters. I brought a nice shirt. I don't know what I brought several nice shirts. Mistakes. Workout clothes when they smell bad. We're not going to discuss it. I brought, and 1 pair of pajamas would have been plenty. Plus there was laundry at every facility where we were. So I didn't actually have to, and you think, well, I don't want to waste my time with laundry, but do you want to waste all your time lugging this around? It took an hour of our time to do the laundry. I wore close to the same outfits all 11 days, 12 days, which is currently why my ensemble looks the way it does. I have nothing else to wear. I didn't want to unpack without recording. A pair of skirts, workout pants, t-shirts. I brought far too many t-shirts. I brought because I thought they were cute or funny and had nothing to do with comfort. And at the end of the day, when you're on vacation, you're all about comfort. Another fancy shirt, huge mistake. These pants were an absolute win. I would definitely recommend long pants for travel. When you're sitting in hot cars or on the train, temperature can be a variant, or plastic. Does anyone else hate when it sticks to the back of your legs? I loved these. These were excellent. I'll put a link for them along with the, what else did I get? Oh, the cooling towels. I got them both off of Amazon, and I'll put a link in the description box below. Sweatshirt was a win. Another shirt. 2 pair of jeans in the dead of summer. Huge mistake. More shorts and pool attire, win, and unmentionables. That was the whole kit and caboodle. I packed too many clothes. I could have truly gotten away with the 1 black pair of sweatpants, the 2 shorts, 1 nice top to go with those shorts, and maybe 3 t-shirts in my undergarments, and get rid of the wedge heels and the nice shirt. I suppose it depends on the vacation you're going on, but we were on, see this amazing country we live in kind of trip, and we were moving and hustling all day. And so here's what I took away from that. You saw what I unpacked. I packed too many clothes. I packed too many what ifs. And there are about 1,000 what ifs that happened, and it was still too much, and I had to lug this up, and I had to get it upstairs that I swear were built for Smurfs, with my luggage that weighed 1,000 pounds. And it was just a mistake. But there were some really important key things that we did bring that I thought were tremendous. So let's talk about those. Okay, number one tip that I could take away from this was you'd be better off underpacking than overpacking, but only by a margin. The second most important one was tape. This tape, especially on the train, saved us. I can't even put into words. We had a sleeper car. It was so precious. I'll show a video right now. So we're getting started. And here's our eeny weeny little room. Who's the handsomest?
Who's her royal hotness?
Isn't my husband the cutest? He is just precious. We used the tape. Our door wouldn't stay open. We were able to tape it open. There was some rattling, a little bit of rattling in the night. We taped it up, and there was one scenario where we didn't realize how the lights worked. I'll share that clip down next. Keeps the doors from jiggling around. Can cover the light switch, but also, if in fact you pay attention to what's going on, You will also realize that you can turn off the light right here. That's a friendly tip for you from me. But we thought the nightlight had to stay on, and that was really jarring, so I taped a towel over the light. We just used this over and over again, no damage done to anything, and it was just tremendous. So if you're especially by train, tape. It's worth it. It's worth the effort. Third was the cooling towels. We went obviously through the desert several times. We went to Nevada and Arizona, and it is next level hot. I mean, we on the East Coast with the humidity, we know hot, but I'm saying over there, next level hot. Those cooling towels were tremendous for my husband, and I would highly recommend them for anyone who struggles with heat exertion and things like that. Obviously my husband's is more significant and more severe, but some people just, I mean, they just don't like to get hot, and that's okay. These cooling towels did exactly what they were supposed to, and it came in, I think 6 to a pack, and it was $19.95, and I took 4 on the trip, and we used 2 of them for sure. I kept the other 2 as backups. We didn't need them that often because when he got really overheated, obviously we would have to get somewhere substantially more cool, but it did allow him to see the Grand Prismatic. It allowed him to, we did the Hoover Dam, which was, and the Grand Canyon. The cooling towels were tremendous. And then the sweatshirt. Even if you're traveling in the summertime, if you're traveling in car, going to a hotel, traveling by train, and different hotels, the temperature variant is substantial even in the summertime. And there were times when I just wanted a little something and I threw on the sweatshirt and it was tremendous. I didn't need anything else. And I obviously traveled with the 1 pair of pants. Secondly, not second. I love number 2. Secondly, there was one other thing, and I think I must not have unpacked it, or maybe I left it in the hotel. I got sink suds because I was really worried. I didn't know that hotels had laundry facilities that you could use. I mean, my world is very small, but it's getting bigger, and it is a beautiful world. But I brought sink suds so that I could wash clothes in the sink if we needed to, because I just wasn't sure what was going to happen. Those were fun too. They really worked. I mean, obviously not amazing, but they got the job done when things were like my workout clothes got a little stinky and I didn't want to put them back in my suitcase. I did a little sink sud thing, laid them out to dry. By the time we were ready to leave the next day, they were all dried out and I felt better about putting them in there. Those were tremendous. I also got those on Amazon. I will link the 3 things that I did get from Amazon down below. The rest of the stuff I had. And so those were the top three that I could recommend. And then finally, the last part is just the joy. Oh my goodness. Traveling by train had its headaches and its adventures, but what it did do that I had so forgotten, especially over these last 2 years, we were forced to interact. Truly interact with everyone around us. We had shared space on the dining car and things like that. So you don't get to just sit alone. You have to sit with other people. We met people from England, from California. We met people from Utah. We met people from Florida. We met people from North Carolina. We met people from Maine. We met people from Colorado. We met people from all over. And the beautiful thing about interacting with people on this different level was that nobody cared about anyone else's story. We were just enjoying the ride. And I loved that. And there was so much time on the train. You could sit and chat with someone, or you could curl up with a book, or you could just stare out the window and see the majesty of this land. And I did all of those things, and I would call it a win. Even when the tracks were washed out by a freak storm, and we spent 18 hours on the tracks in a little desert town, and I do mean little desert town. Even with the disappointments that we had, I just highly recommend it. Travel by train. I mean, not on a tight schedule. Don't do it on a tight schedule. You are wailing and gnashing of teeth. but on a schedule where you're open and able to travel, it was a beautiful thing. Plane, there's no quicker way to get things done. We took the red eye. I'm not going to say red eyes are a joy, but man, it was so nice to know that in 5 hours, we were going to be home. And when you get to the end of a journey like that, dang, we're going to have to start playing games every time I say journey. It was just so nice to know 5 hours we're going to be home, 5 hours we're going to be home. Where some of the stretches of long road and desert and train, it could be just, travel is exhausting. Travel is exhausting, but a beautiful trip. And then the car, just me and my husband being silly, songs would come on. Sometimes you're silent, then sometimes you get deep, and then sometimes you get just stupid. It was all a great ride, so I have no regrets. If you do go towards Utah, Arches is the way to go. And if you have the opportunity to go by car, take the scenic route 29. We took that. We had no idea what to expect through Moab to get to Arches. We thought we saw amazing things there that should have been National Park. And then the crescendo was getting to Arches, which just blew my mind. So that was tremendous. Then Tetons, we cannot hike as much as we used to. We used to be avid backpackers, but unfortunately MS has taken that from us. But we had a beautiful time through the Tetons. That was stunning. And you can see so much more if you can take trails, but they are significant hikes. There weren't really any minimal hikes. And then through Yellowstone, you're going to drive more than you think. Because if you want to see all the things that it has to offer, and we only did the Southern Loop, you're going to be in that car. Even if you think you're living the nomad lifestyle, to see the things, if you wanted to check those off your bucket list, you're going to be in the car. You're going to be in the car. You're going to be in the car. Okay? But the things that I would say don't miss, Grand Prismatic. That was in Midway. That blew my mind. The geysers are obviously amazing. I don't want to diminish Old Faithful or anything like that, but the Grand Prismatic was just, I've never seen anything like it. And maybe because Old Faithful is so well known, I was more prepared for that. The other thing that I wanted to share that was really not many people stopped at, and that was the Black Sands, although there was no Black Sands, but you got so much closer to some of these hot springs to really see the color variant and things like that. And one thing no one tells you in the travel, I'm going to tell you, it stinks. I mean, sulfur stinks. And I should have known, but I wasn't expecting it. And it really didn't change anything other than it added to the experience. But you was going to smell some sulfur, some great caca, quite a bit. And then, let me think. The only other thing I could say is if you're going with, we stayed for 3 days, 2 nights, and we barely got done the Southern Loop. If you want to do them all, you're staying longer or you're coming back again. It's almost too much, too much. And there is a significant amount of oh, look, more trees. Oh, look, more trees. But even that has a majesty about it. It truly, truly does. So again, those would be some of the things. And then finally, if you are staying in Yellowstone in the park, here's something that we were not prepared for. You better make dinner reservations. If you're not traveling by RV and having your own food, you better make it way ahead of time. First thing in the morning, if not the day before. We had just no idea, and I feel foolish even saying that, but we had to go without dinner because they were booked solid. And we had called at 12 in the afternoon to get dinner reservations. And that was over all the camps. Even if we wanted to go to a different place than where we were staying, they were all booked up, nothing. And so that would be the only other tip that I would tell you is make a dinner reservation. If you aren't packing your own food, make it ahead of time, because obviously Yellowstone is massive. You're not just going to go, oh, well, I'll run out to Chick-fil-A or McDonald's then, fine, whatever. You ain't whatever in that. So, but totally worth it. And we Franks don't starve. We didn't starve. You saw I had nuts. So anyway, those were my reviews of my packing, what I did poorly. I packed far too much. The what ifs weighed me down. And that I think is so critical as we walk into the next phase of where I'm going in organizing my pantry and starting to renovate a few other areas in the house. Was the what ifs weigh you down. Keeping all the what ifs, carrying all the what ifs robs you of the joy of the moment. And I had 1,000, what if we went out to eat? What if I wanted to dress nicely? What if we ran into a blizzard? What if? What else can I say? I hope you enjoyed the video clips. I hope you enjoyed the review. And I'll link the few things I did get in Amazon that I thought were a total win across the board that you should too. And I just really appreciate each and every one of you. And if you're feeling inspired, give it a try. See ya.